Yes, it's thankfully it's good here. How about you? Safe
All
and healthy?
all good so far.
We'll wait for a few minutes for a few more students to come, and then we'll officially start the talk.
Great, great.
But
Can I switch off my camera till then and take a quick
yeah,
break?
yeah, sure.
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I just wanted to do a quick test that I'm sitting fine and all.
yes.
Okay, I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Till then, students that are here right now, if you want to call your friends, anyone, please tell them to join soon so we can have a really good session here because it would be a great opportunity for anyone who just wants to start anything on Instagram or start their own website or start their own venture. We'll just wait for like few more minutes. I'll just switch my camera.
Well, Anahad, do you want to talk a little bit about your research and your area of expertise and how it relates?
Sure.
That's a great.
So, so I'm currently researching on self-branding and digital marketing. So my focus is how, based on how we are as individuals, how we are, our personalities, if we learn how to channel that and learn how to, portray that online, we can really create a successful brand out of that. In recent years, the market with digital market with influencers has increased a lot, and what influencers do, what celebrities do in general, is basically portray themselves, their personalities, their daily life on, on internet, on their accounts, and connect with people. That's very important. Connect with their audience, create a community, and that becomes sort of their work, their business. And so that is where I come in. I focus my research on so how you can successfully connect with your audience, create a brand. And this is not only if you want to become an influencer, like today we'll be talking with Nikita as well. Even when you have, products, your own business with products, it's very important to create a theme to, connect with the audience there, to kind of, let your audience know who you are, what you stand for, create a brand, create a pattern, an ongoing theme. And Nikita really does a good job there, as much as I have seen, and we'll talk to her about her journey as well, how she has done that and how she has created what she has today. So that's what I'm researching, and I really wanted you guys to kind of see that practically firsthand done, and successfully done. You can really, it doesn't require anything. It doesn't require for you to prepare anything. You just have to just be yourself, and you can create your own thing from there. So why not use that to your advantage? And especially now that we have time. So that's why even now we're doing this talk, so that, you guys can use this information to your advantage and create something on your own. Um, I guess I'll just yeah, we'll start. I'm sure few students will enter. I know few students who will join in 5 minutes later. I'll just, yeah, the chat is recording. Yes. So we'll officially start this session. It's on entrepreneurship through digital platforms and branding with Nikita Gupta, who's here with us, the founder of Amama, if I'm pronouncing that all right.
Amama, yes.
Amama.
Yeah.
And I am. She just started her business in 2017, which took off last year, and I'm sure a lot of you would have observed how, businesses online. It was a really good time, and a lot of people took advantage of that, including her. And so, you know, we'll talk with her about that. But for I just have to mention, I love your brand. I love your jewelry.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for all the love. Means a lot.
I actually got to know about your brand through an influencer, through
Okay.
through Komal Pandey, and I had saved it because I wanted to buy, when I would have some events to go to.
Yeah.
And when this talk idea came up, I was like, why not? Because I loved the idea that was behind your brand, how this is what you called your grandmother. So instead of me telling our students, why don't you go ahead and tell us the story behind your business?
Hello, everyone. First of all, a big thank you for this. This has been a breath of fresh air. This opportunity. I feel really obliged that I will be able to go and give some insight on brand building and all. So it means a lot. Thank you so much for this.
You're welcome.
Now, if we start talking about Amama, so to be honest, Amama wasn't my first venture. It hasn't been like a great journey. I started with something else which was called Dikshik Bazaar. I thought of something else which I started working on with a friend of mine after college, but somehow it didn't do well and it didn't pick up. Then that got scrapped out, and I started working. I started working with Forever 21 because I started retail. So I started working in retail brands like Forever 21, Louis Vuitton. Then again, thought of doing something else, and I started another project, which also I did for a while, but again failed. And
Okay.
knowing no, so I will also give you a little bit of my family background. I come from a typical setup where people think that girls have a certain graph, that college हो गया, शादी हो गई, बच्चे होंगे, उसके बाद that's it.
Yeah.
करियर साथ में टाइम पास के लिए करना है तो कर लेगी. आई कम फ्रॉम दैट काइंड ऑफ अ फैमिली वेयर career for a girl is taken as a time pass and not like a necessity. So here there was no one thinking that if she has to do something, we have to. My parents were supportive, but supportive in a way that शादी is first, बच्चे are first, फिर उसके बाद टाइम मिले तो करियर देख लेना. So in all of this, I got married also, and then I settled in the new house, which is after which I started working on this new brand called Amama. So jewelry happened because my dadi, I used to call her Amma, and I have inherited a lot of silver jewelry from her because my dada was a silversmith. So they
Oh,
used to deal in silver in Haryana, and he used to deal in silver, and he used to have silver lying around all the time when silver ka bhav was not that much. And he used to tell ki that हमारे पास ऐसे पीपे भरे रहते हैं jewelry silver की, and never we never paid attention that much that silver one day is going to be so costly or it's going to be so valuable. So she gave a lot of that stuff to me, which is of great value and obviously of a lot emotional value to me. And that is when I think since initial days only my love for jewelry started. Then I did my studying also in fashion because I knew I have to get into fashion jewelry, something like that. I did not think specifically jewelry, but yes, I did study fashion, thinking that I have to get in that line. Not, I was not academically inclined, to be honest.
true. That's
So
great.
yeah, please.
No, continue. I just wanted to say that's great, the story, you know?
Yeah, so because I knew that academically inclined I'm not, and fashion and jewelry is something that clicks with me and it comes instinctively to me. I got into that, and that's when I started working on a mama, very step by step.
Yeah.
So initially I started with just sourcing stuff from places like Chandni Chowk, Paharganj. Why I'm telling you guys this is just to know that no brand can start big. Nothing can start big. You have to take it step by step, and then only the learning curve is built. It cannot be that you from day one, like as people say, build Rome was not built in a day. Nothing
True.
can be built in a day. In 4 years
Yes.
of my journey with Amama, I've learned a lot. I have cried a lot. I have been happy a lot. And there have been a lot of things that I have learned. My husband, he has been really supportive. He told me a lot of things like finances have always been a weak point for me. So I used to always tell him, and I still tell him that my job is to just maintain my brand. He's like, if your finances you will not take care of, how will you go ahead and do any of this? You have to be careful of each and every, and that's where I think your studies come in picture. Where when you learn about accounting, when you learn about finances, is where I think I did not pay attention to. Is where I lagged, and that's why I really lagged behind with my accounting department. But as they say, everyone cannot be doing everything. Touchwood,
Everything.
now I have a good team in place who does different roles in different departments.
Yeah, we'll talk about we have to talk about your team as well. But first, I just love your journey because it's very important for everyone here and anyone who wants to start a business that it's not a dream that we see on social media, and it's not
Yes.
fun that we see, and it's not just you see a video of people wearing their stuff and just smiling, but there's so much that goes
There's
behind
so
it.
much more to it, Anahad. I must tell you that there was a lot of initial inhibition. It took me 2 years to come in front of the camera and start doing these videos or any of this content on myself. It took me 2 years
True.
because I was so hesitant of thinking, what will people say? What if I make this? What will my own friends say? What if it's not perceived well? What if someone writes a bad comment? So there were so many inhibitions which I had to overcome to think that yes, I have to take that leap of faith. So basically, the whole crux is to come out of your comfort zone and do not waste any time. That's the biggest learning that I can give out. Although I'm also young and very learning every day myself, but whatever learning I have had is that you have to step out of your comfort zone.
But that is the whole point of it, right? Like you said, you failed. There were several tries, and you failed, and finally, this is something that brought you here. And that's what we should. Everyone who starts a business, all the students that are present here, we want to tell them that you should start with what you know. Like you started with what you knew, silver jewelry. It was around
Yes.
you, and
Yes.
that's what in my research for personal branding, that's what I say. You can take anything from your life, from yourself that you already have, and start.
Yes.
And like
Absolutely.
you didn't know finances, but once you start with the first product, with the first step, you learn other things along the way. So, we're going to go on the challenges that you face. I wanted to ask, like you mentioned, like you were not, that strong and great in the field of finance. How do you do it now? How do you handle all of that?
Now, thankfully, I have an accountant who
Hmm.
manages all the. But I do take care of certain things because I have to see the salaries and where the money is going, where the money is coming from. So, all of those aspects I do overlook, but I have an accountant now in place. So, touch wood, that department has been taken care of.
But you did learn along the way yourself,
Yes,
right?
I did learn a lot about banking. Very basic banking also I did not understand much. And my husband is the one who pushed me. Make a call to customer care. Ask this, ask that. So
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying. Very basic things also I used to lag in, or just having a credit card, having a debit card. What is the difference between a credit or a debit? Like that's what I'm saying. This is something very basic accounting when we learned in school in 11th and 12th. But when you do it in your practical
Yeah,
life, it feels like everything has
very
gone
different.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know how to put the studying into practical life. And that's when you realize, oh my God, this is so simple. This I learned in school. How can I not implement it now?
So that's very important. Like you have all this in your brain, but we're scared to, kind of take that step. But once you
Yes,
take it, do it, you'll be able to
yes,
do it.
yes.
That's very important.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I wanted to talk about, the styling. We've talked about the technicality, we'll talk more about it, but let's talk about the idea. So when you started Amama, was, now you don't only have silver jewelry, but you do pearls.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
one of my
Yes.
favorite pieces of yours is, the big white pearl earrings.
Yeah.
That's just, you
That's
know,
a bestseller.
I have seen that on so many people, and I really want to buy it myself. But
You must
when
have
I
seen it on so many people, and you must have seen a lot of copies of it. It is getting copied left, right, and center.
let me ask, how do you deal with that? Like, it's your
There's
original
nothing we
style.
can do, Anhad. To be very frank, the state of our law system in India is really sorry, and I can't blame also because our country is full of the population is such that they cannot do and worry about a jewelry design.
Yeah, yeah, true.
But there is no law to really protect this. Either I should have got it patented before launching it,
Hmm.
but again, a patent of a design takes at least 2 years from what I learned from any lawyer, which also I discovered after I realized that my design is getting copied. That's when I
Oh,
contacted a lawyer, because to be honest, I had not thought that it will go so badly copied.
true.
That even
Just
Mintra is selling it. Like, I would like to tell, even
oh,
Mintra is selling a copy of that piece.
but how, like again, this is part of doing business. Like, you can't really do anything about it. I'll just mention, someone has the camera on. I think it's Galav Bhushan, JGBS 18. Can you please, yeah, there you go. So yeah, and all these, when you do your business, all these you will, including this, you will face a lot of, different things that you will have to deal with on the day-to-day basis. So can I know, when you started your business with the idea, it was just you, single person, just started
Yes,
with one.
yes, it was me. It still is me. I mean, I have a team now, but yes, the idea was only me.
Yeah. So how did you come up with the idea? How did you decide what materials you will use? Like, you use pearls now, and how
And
did that?
see, as I was mentioning, that there was no like a big chunk of capital that I had in hand, and I had to just go around spreading that. I did this without any money, so I had to use the resources I had in hand. So what I used was I did was I started going to the market myself and picked up pieces which I personally liked. And then after doing a little shoot at home with the cameras we had that time, I launched a Shopify website, which was also done by me because Shopify is quite user friendly. I launched a website myself and uploaded those pieces. And by God's grace, like first day only of me launching that website, I got few orders.
Oh, great!
Yeah,
And
which was
then
a very, very good booster, which was a very good kickstart. It gave me a lot of confidence. So as the days passed by, I saw good response and I started working towards building my own manufacturing, which was obviously the aim
okay.
in the long run, that I have to stop sourcing or curating and I have to start my own manufacturing. So what initially I did was that I will be curating the best of each kind of jewelry. So if you must have noticed that we have a lot of Afghan jewelry, which is the kind of jewelry that people were used to wear or still wear in Afghanistan, all these countries. So they have these very tribal kind of jewelry, which I started with initially, and it did really well for me. Like Amama still feels that it's their USP. People still, a lot of people still know Amama for the kind of curation we did for Afghan jewelry, because I used to be very, very particular about what kind of piece goes on my website. Because since the beginning, the idea wasn't just to make money, but also to have a brand which speaks for itself.
Right. Yeah, and when we talk about brand, it's very important, the values that it holds and the story that it
Yes,
has.
yes.
So how, like, I have gone through your website, I've read the story that you put on, and so how did it, I wanted to know, how did it grow? Like, when you see that a particular piece that you put out does well, then how does it, work from there if we want to know from the technical perspective of, doing business? Like you have your team and you have your manufacturers, like people who make jewelry now.
Yes. I have an in-house team of 15 carigars now. We have an office space where there is one floor only for the carigars. It's a workshop of 15 people, 15 carigars. Who first we ideate the whole design. We put it on paper. We decide what kind of raw material to put in it. So the kind of jewelry I do is all made on adda. I don't know whether you guys understand adda. It's basically a long cloth piece which is struck on a wooden stand. It's kind of a
Okay.
stand,
Yeah.
and a long cloth is struck on it. It's sewed on it. So that's how all your lehengas and all the embroideries are also done on those only. They do all the embroidery work on that. So kind of you can say that it's kind of embroidery pieces which I have launched into jewelry.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah, so all those white pieces and the ones you were
Yeah.
talking about, those are all embroidered. So super light. If you will, also the whole idea of launching this embroidered jewelry was that it should be very statement, because I myself love big pieces, but it should not be a pain in your ears.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time women face this problem that they want to wear big earrings, but they're really afraid of it piercing their ears. So that was also one aspect about thinking of what kind of jewelry to come up with.
Even in my research and people that I have talked to about, doing their own thing, it's very important. I tell them that, in starting your own thing, it's about problem solving. So you realize, what is
Yes,
missing,
yes,
what people have issues with, and then you
yes,
find solutions for that, and people will definitely
absolutely.
join your journey, because they want it. They're facing that issue. And so that's great. And yes, I noticed that, the kind of the key point, that thing that attracts you, the first thing you see are statement pieces, really big pieces. And I did wonder how it would feel if I like wear it, because you see, even now I'm like wearing really tiny, like I cannot
Yeah, no,
wear, but
so I understand that people cannot wear those kind of pieces on everyday basis. They are very occasion based. But then I want to make the kind of jewelry which people wear and they feel that I can pass on this jewelry. It's a piece I
yeah,
own and I can pass it on. If I have a daughter, if I have a daughter-in-law, I'm someone I love, I can pass it on to them, and they will feel that I have been given something which I can cherish again.
right. And I've
Even
noticed
if
that
it's
a
not
lot,
expensive or
yeah,
it's an expensive metal or like a gold or a diamond, because people think only gold and diamond can be passed on. But why not this kind of jewelry?
right. And like when I see your designs, they feel a lot like homely. The designs are very traditional, but I've seen them worn with Western clothing. And I
Yes.
think that's also one of the great things about your brand, that it mixes the two together. And it feels very warm. I have to say, like exactly the meaning behind your brand's name. It gives me that image when I see your jewelry as well, like your mother's jewelry, like our traditions, our values, and you can
Yes.
really see that. So yeah, now that we've talked about technicalities, I also wanted to ask, like you're telling us how the jewelry is made. Like obviously you've told me you weren't particularly interested in or looked behind where the jewelry came at your house, so you would have learned all these things along the way doing that. Can you share with us, like, how did you get to know how these jewelries are made? Where did you find the carigars? If someone has to start their own thing, how do they
That,
do that?
Anhad, to be honest, that's a very big challenge, and you just learn out of your own experience. You cannot just, just type something on a laptop and find someone. It is all something that you can only learn from your experience and day to day working in a brand. When I started doing this, so when I started going to the market, I used to talk to a lot of people, all these karigar, because everyone comes to Chandni Chowk and all for their sourcing material and everything. So you just have to be very curious, keep talking to people. I used to ask people, आप कौन से export house से हो, किसके लिए सामान लेने आए हो. Someone used to say, मैं इस designer के लिए सामान लेने आया हूँ. Then I used to talk to them कि कोई कारीगर की जरूरत हो तो बताइएगा, मैं ढूंढ रही हूँ. And this is how I found my first karigar.
Oh.
And also from internet I did get help, because I used to put in ads for interns, for fashion interns from NIFT, Pearl, and other colleges. So that's how I found my first intern also, who then became part of the first team at Amama, and then onwards started the karigar journey. So from one karigar it went on to two, three, four, and it started going on. But yeah, the first one is the most difficult and most challenging part.
Asking questions. That's like you see around anything around you, go ahead, you keep asking, being curious. That's great. And that's something people are really afraid to do.
Yes.
Kind of they don't want people to, think that they don't know things, but it's
Yes.
very
Yes.
important that it's better to just ask and know things rather than just not knowing. And so that's a very important lesson when starting your own thing, going out, observing, being curious, asking questions. Now that we talked a little about the technicality and your brand, I wanted to focus more on the digital aspect of it as well. You have done your whole business online, as I
Yes.
understand correctly. You've
Yes.
started it. How big of a part was, your Instagram account in kind of growing your or developing your business?
Anad, to be honest, I will give the biggest credit to Instagram only, because that's where I think the audience connected the most.
Hmm.
Instagram or Facebook, because ads are the most effective when you do them on Facebook, and Instagram because you can put in your content and show your piece in a more creative manner. But for any kind of digital platform, the one advice that I can only give to each one of you here is consistency. That's the key. That's just the key for everything that you want to do on digital platform. Whether it's any platform, any product, any service you want to come out with, anything, you have to be consistent. You cannot think that today I'm going to do it, then 10 days down the line I have a wedding in the house, I will have to give up, then I'm going on a holiday, I will not do it for another month. No. Even if the quality is not good of your work, you feel that the work is average, or people might feel it's average, don't worry, just go out with it, because the quality of the work improves as you grow, the work grows. But because now I review my last year's work, I feel, oh my god, what was I doing?
True, I do the same about my pictures.
Yes, so
But that's,
that's how it
yeah,
happens. But if I had not done all that last year, I would have still be sitting on wondering what to do with the brand, how to take it forward, because you have to constantly grow. It's sad, but it's also true that the digital world is evolving very, very fast,
yeah,
and people's memory is very short. All of it's the same for all of us. We only click a like or comment on something very rarely. We will scroll through hundreds of pictures and then choose one to like on or one to comment on. So it's very difficult to get a like or a comment, but we cannot rely on that. We have to do our job. We
right.
cannot worry about whether someone will like it, whether someone will comment. When I made my first video, I was so apprehensive because I had just had a baby and I was not in the best shape. So I used to keep wondering, people will call me fat, people will body shame me, people might say this, what is she doing? It's all unnecessary, it's unnecessary information. But I just went ahead with it.
And today you have your in the future with so many more videos and so many followers and customers.
Yes,
So
I still feel and I still say that there's lots to learn for me. There are people who are doing bigger and better work in the industry, but as I say that you will only evolve once you start doing it.
yeah, right. So whatever, it's very important for someone who's starting their thing or is very new to know that whatever you have today, you just have to do it. You just
Yes,
have to do it those
absolutely.
days.
If you're a good
So
photographer, if you feel that you are a you're good in cooking, music, singing, anything, any kind of field, you're good at giving some advice, you think you can be a life coach, just start with it. And it's not only digital, like obviously digital is the platform to showcase your work, but if you find any other medium, you feel anything that can, you want to present to the world, just start with it. One thing I really regret, Anhad, as I have grown out of college and all, is the time I wasted in college. because that time I think digital age was still little less. Instagram was just coming into picture, and Facebook was more in that time. This I'm talking almost 10 years back. But that time I think in college we all feel that there's still time. There is still time. आगे देखेंगे क्या होगा. But one thing that I really regret is I have wasting my college time doing nothing. So college time,
Yeah.
obviously that was also a learning curve, but definitely I will say that time is money. Time is really important. How you use your time, because I feel that I don't want to bind it by age, but every person has a golden time in their lifetime, which has to be cashed on in terms of your energy, in terms of your the kind of work you can give in the world. It's all time based, so time is really important.
And just to add on to that, what you've said is wonderful. But people a lot of times equate that your work and your time and your resources that you have around you to thinking that what you do has to be great and has to
Grand.
compare to the biggest people in that field. But that's not true. You're doing
That's not.
anything works. Just do it. Just start it, because even now social media is on the you know, just at its height,
Yes.
and people in college, we all have accounts, we all post on social media, and so why not start posting, start creating, things that might give you something in return, might lead to something in the future, and thinking about it, because everyone, I mean, now in college everyone knows what they want to do, at least have interest. So why not put in work into your interest that you have, like you did. you know it's your first step is not your last step, your first step is not your fifth. Obviously it will develop into it, but your first interest was in silver jewelry, and you took a step in that, and now you have this thing that is more than just silver jewelry. And so it's amazing to see your journey, and I want everyone here and who will later on you know um, see this to know that just take the first step into using the resources that you have at college, using the interest you have today, and it'll change definitely. You won't be where you are today tomorrow as well. And you to see you to use that as an inspiration. But talking about inspiration, like you also learned along the way, and so how you also, as you talked about, you went out and you researched. So can I know, like, when you see online, when you look at your account, what do you from where do you get your inspiration for your only the digital digital social media part of your brand?
As in
How do you
for like for making the designs or for posting content.
for posting the content that you create, just on social media? How does that work out? Because a lot of people find that very stressful.
Intimidating.
Yes, very intimidating. So please talk us through that.
Anad, it's really about, and I'm sure you must have heard that a lot, but that's the only true thing about it. You just have to be yourself. I cannot pretend to be someone who's I feel is cool on Instagram and I start copying them. It won't work. It won't come naturally to me. If one day feel that Komal Pandey does great work, she has great fashion sense, but that's not me. That's not my style. Even if I try to ape her, I will only do it maybe once, but then I won't be able to because that's not me. So with my content, the only thing that I try is whatever comes naturally to me. Even if it's like just going to be two likes or one comment, but it's something that I'm making comfortable.
Right.
But if I
So
will do which does not make me feel that I'm giving my 100%, then I will the you know it will show that I'm uncomfortable making it.
right, and your audience will only obviously connect with something that you are also coming
Yeah.
out great, and you will come out great in only things that you are, only things that you like. And like everyone, when talking about self branding or researching about it, you have to find that niche. People use that word a lot. What is your niche? And a lot of times, it's very confusing. What is that? What is my comfort zone? What is, like, who am I? What do I put outside? What is my style? So can you talk about finding that, talk about your journey in finding that style? Because I see your videos now and you have your own style. You have your own style of wearing your jewelry, you know?
Anand,
And
I really feel that style evolves.
hmm,
It evolves with time. You get to know about new things. You learn about new things, and with that, your style evolves. But obviously, inherently, there is like a root to it where you feel that this is how I am, and then you keep evolving in that kind of style. So with Amama or my personal style, I'll say a lot of it has to do with how I used to, make these videos earlier, and then I used to see content on Instagram, and I will not say I did not take inspiration. Of course, I took inspiration from things seeing around, and with that, my style also evolved. But when it comes to jewelry styling, I will say that I have a very traditional style where I like layering things, mixing elements, gold with silver, silver with artificial, because I really don't believe in that you only have to wear gold or silver. Yeah, I'm a big fan of silver jewelry also, but at the same time I can go wearing a very costume jewelry to a wedding. I do not think that diamond or silver can only be worn at weddings. So I want to tell people, and I want them to practice this also, that do not just think beyond diamond and kundan or precious
hmm.
jewelry, and make a transition to these kind of jewelries.
That's great because obviously everything has its own look, and you can try different looks, and trying is very important. Like you said, being curious, looking for new things. You said a lot of great things today, and it's I anyone who's listening, I want to take from it as much as possible. So while we're on that topic, I wanted to ask, like, I see your videos, and I just I love how simple you are, and I love how comfortable you are in that simplicity, and I'm sure
Anna, that's what you see.
that's what I wanted to ask, what is the behind the scene of creating that one video?
The behind the scene is just this, that first you have to come up with the concept, then you have to match the clothes with it, then you have to match the jewelry with it. That first you have to figure out, oh, this jewelry, okay, I don't have anything to wear with it. Then you do all the combinations and then mix up. Then you do a little scripting as to how you will enter, how you will exit, what will be the transition, because it's all about transition, especially on Instagram with the reels and all, what kind of transitions you do. And at the same time keeping in mind that you have to focus on the jewelry piece.
Hmm.
And this is all being done myself because all the content I create myself. And after I create this content, then comes the editing part, which is also a very very big task, because after you shoot you feel so tired that you do not want, you just want someone to just come and give, which you can also, but I like doing my own editing. And then comes the music part. You put in music or you put voiceover. So as I will tell you, as I'm speaking, I will say that I'm still not comfortable with the voiceover videos.
Yeah.
So that's where my comfort zone has not come in yet. That's where I have to step out of my comfort zone and I start doing these voiceover videos. So it's really a big task, and I don't want to scare anyone into thinking that it's a lot of mehnat, but you cannot get anything out of not doing mehnat.
Right, obviously.
Consistency, mehnat, everything comes in place every day. If you take up something, you cannot give up on it the next day thinking ki bore ho gaya, thak gaya ye, matlab these cannot be the excuses if you've taken up something. So, which is why I say in past 2 years I have been continuously making content, and that's why it has shown result.
Right. And it takes time,
It
definitely.
takes
It
time.
takes time. You have to patiently just keep working. And a lot of times I've seen, like, something someone created a year ago, kind of blew up and not
Yes,
expected at all.
yes, we're
And
living in an age of the kind of digital age we're living in. Anything can go viral anytime. You don't even
yeah,
realize.
Right, and that's what people don't understand, that whatever you are making, just make it. Even if it's not doing good today, there's still a possibility. So it's very important to put it out there, to
See,
put it
Anahad,
online.
and I will be very honest about it. There are days you feel, yeah, is it really going to work? What am I doing? What is this for? It's not going to give any result. There are those negative thoughts, and you have to fight them to feel that next day it's going to get better. You have to fight them, because I have those days where I feel, what am I doing? Yeah, this is not going to give me result. I should stop doing these videos, and it's quite draining also, being a mother, being a wife. It's quite draining, but then that's where the challenge comes in, and which is what I like to take up. That after doing my other duties, I also have to see my work, and where I do these videos, then take up my child, then do my editing, then take up my child. It feels like a very a fulfilling life, where you are doing work also and have life also.
True. Can I ask, like, approximately how long does the behind the scene of one video take? Like from the starting conceptualizing, when you start getting ready to editing and publishing it.
When I started, it took really long initially, but
Initially.
now, because I've got a hang of it, and I mean, I've got the whole gist of how to go the whole process. Initially, it used to take me like even a week to edit one video, but
Wow.
now say I have reduced that time to almost 1 day,
Because
almost.
it's a lot. You don't realize. Yeah, it's a lot. Like,
Earlier, I used to shoot one video in 1 day and then edit that, and then go to another one. Now I've made a system where I shoot at least 3 4 videos or content in 1 day, and then I keep editing them over time as I need them.
also,
Yeah.
like you mentioned, scheduling.
Yeah.
Scheduling your work, knowing,
Yeah.
uh, right? It's very important. Like you see a lot of times on Instagram, like you see one look in a lot of different videos, and it's not that they have worn that again and again. No, they created all of it on the same day, because they've kept in mind that we
Yes.
need to
Yes.
do this look. So how can you kind of focus for us, our students, how important scheduling your work and having a proper kind of
It's
thing in
very
mind.
important. Scheduling is very important, because I mean, your students are still in college and they don't have as many responsibilities. Although I'm not judging on this, everyone has their set of responsibilities.
Yeah.
But being a mom, I really have to schedule, because if I won't, then my work will also suffer and my child will also suffer. So what I do is I plan this way before, and I feel that I see what kind of content is needed for next 1 week, and according to that I prepare the clothes, the jewelry, and also the makeup part. Oh my god, I hate it. I hate doing makeup, especially with this is something that comes in as a part of my job, that I have to put on makeup each time, but I really don't enjoy it. And because I don't enjoy putting makeup every day, so I really try the 1 day I will put it and shoot as much content as possible, so that I don't have to put on makeup every day. So scheduling, putting your whole mind together and understanding your day-to-day activity is very important.
Right, so we've talked about, three aspects: the technical business development, the branding of it, and then the social media. Like, there's obviously, as I say, I encourage everyone to start with what they like, to take that first step. But then, once you're finally doing it, the thing that you really like or are interested in is just like, a small 10% of it. There's so much that you have to do that you might not like or might not be that enthusiastic about, to kind of push what you like, to create this brand is what you like, but then you're doing so much around it as well. So it was really interesting talking to you. And now, if any one of you have questions, any comments, something to say to Nitika, Nit, I can't
Nikita.
pronounce it, Nikita,
Nikita.
and
It's
ask
okay.
her, please go ahead. We'll be here for 10 to 15 more minutes. Anyone has anything to say, ask. Professor Ronita is the one behind, I'm working with her. She has something to ask. How do you
Great.
stay inspired? You have so much to do. How do you keep coming up with new ideas, new
I think it's the
juices?
reward because I see good response and I see the love that I receive on my jewelry and my brand is what inspires me every day to keep going and keep doing better and better. And plus, I have my own goals and aims which I want to achieve with my business, for which I'm striving to keep doing better and better so that I can reach those goals faster.
Right. If you have a goal in mind and you achieve it, it really motivates you to go for the next one as well,
Yes,
right?
yes. So
That's
what I
that's
would
great.
like to see, I have been doing this thing with me that I do yearly goals like people do for weight loss and different kind of things, personal goals people set. That's how I've set up goals for my business that yearly I want to see a certain growth and then this growth, that growth. So as in when I achieve that, it feels like a good reward to stay inspired and keep doing better and
Keep doing.
better.
Yeah. I mean, I what I do is like very small in front of you, but like I post something, and even if like even from my own friend I get a comment, I get so happy.
Of course,
It's
Anna, that nothing is small or big. Nothing is small or big. In my own circle, I feel that I'm so small. In your own circle, you might feel you're very small, but there is nothing small or big.
right.
We
We
all
have an
coexist.
right. Go on, please.
I'm good. I'm good. I was just saying.
So we have another question from Shubh Agarwal. Building a great team is a tough job, especially for a startup where one is always short of funds. How did you go about building your team?
That's a very interesting question, first of all, Shub. So, as I said, it is all step by step. I did not start with a team of 15 or 20 or 25. I started with team of just one person and one karigar. And gradually, as I got funds from my sales, I started investing in people because I knew, because as I said in the process, I got pregnant and I had a baby. So I had to give time to myself and the baby as well. Is when I started investing. I tried to understand what all money I'm getting through selling my products. So I started investing the same money. The kind of rotation that has started happening in business is what led to made me understand that how much do I have to invest in hiring more people and how much do I have to invest in raw material, in marketing. That's when I started doing a little and very little chunk in the beginning that I had put in the business also gave a little kickstart. After which, as the ball went rolling, I started hiring people. But yes, initially it's really challenging because you have to feel like a one man army and you do all the jobs by yourself because you are low on capital and you have to save money and put it in better places. You feel you can do everything, but I will really recommend as you grow in your business and as you feel that you have some money to rotate now, hire people,
Right.
because not no one in the world is equipped to handle everything. You can only be good at certain things and certain things someone else can only bring on table. So do, whenever in the later stage of your business, do hire people, have different opinions and value them.
Right. And it's you don't have to know. You don't start with a full team. You start with just you and really nothing, and it comes along the way as your business grows. So a lot of times I have heard from students as well that they don't have yet everything, so they can't start it because they think they have to get everything ready to launch
No,
it.
no, no.
But no, you know.
Not at all, Anand, because when I started, I did not have a photographer on board. I did not have a person to help me with website. I did not have a person to help me with digital marketing. So I used to also get very intimidated thinking, oh my God, what kind of average photography I will do. And then people will judge the photography. This is so average. And I used to also not hire a model thinking I want to save money on model and makeup and all also. And I used to shoot on myself only, that this
Right.
angle will work, this angle will work. And I used to shoot on myself, do my own makeup, stand with a touchwood. We are in an age of where our phones have cameras and we don't have to worry about a digital camera, alag se, that we all have that power in our hand to shoot anytime, anything. So I used to make use of my phone and use just shoot pictures and put them up on the website. So it has to start. It has to be a one-man show, and then gradually it will move on to becoming a team.
And that was a very good question, and that's a great thing to remember. Yeah, so we have another question. What type of skills or characteristics are you looking for when you hire people for your team?
That
Do you
depends
have
on what department I'm hiring for, first of all. If I'm hiring for marketing, the aspects are different, and if I'm hiring for any other department, the aspects are different. Like in I have started hiring designers also, jewelry designers, where I see the kind of approach and the kind of mindset they have towards making new designs.
Mm,
And as I always say, like, they have to be curious just like me. I like people who keep pestering me or keep troubling me only with work. This is not happening. This is new. This is not happening. This is what we can bring in new. So I really like people who keep troubling me only with work. I do not like people who come and sit and get redundant that जो हो रहा है कंपनी में होता रहेगा हमको तो हमारा सैलरी मिलेगा. So that's something that I really look forward to in people who really trouble me. That this is not working. This is new. This is wrong. This is right. You are not doing this, the other brand is doing this, bring it on board. So
right. So do you look at their work that they have, or you look at their past experiences or the qualification?
Anat, with certain departments, yes, because it, it just tells the work kind of work the person has done in the past, for example in designing. But for
Right.
example social media and all, I sometimes can know that a person who handles his or her own social media will have the same kind of set of skills vis-a-vis a person who has done four jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I cannot judge someone because they've not worked anywhere. But if they have their own personal great social media account or social media presence, or is great on so I really encourage that kind of talent where I feel that they themselves are out there
Right.
and have the potential.
So yeah, we have more questions. We have, is silver jewelry an investment?
It is totally an investment because as people, the old people used to say that you should only invest in gold and silver and not in diamond, because my dada used to say कि diamond is पत्थर. पत्थर में क्या invest करना?
Oh,
Because all these things, silver and gold, silver is going to, it's getting appreciated day by day. Yeah, and
yeah. We have a lot of black metal or silver jewelry. The looks are appreciated a lot these days.
yeah, and silver and all are very versatile metals. It's precious metal and also versatile. You can make so much out of it. So it's not only jewelry. Silver can be used in a lot of things.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's your answer. And then we have, okay, so I'll just read it out.
Mhm.
Really appreciate when you were talking about your work-life balance and said it is very fulfilling life. It really reflects your resilience. And also, as a core of an Instagram run small business, I've realized it's tough keeping a check on product quality, left or sold, or direct conversations with potential customers when they comment PP, price please, on your post. I've seen that so much. So, because it is all manually done, how do you manage that side of it all? Are there any tools which you use, or do you do that yourself?
I have a team now. I have a team of two people along with me. So as I said, I am a very curious and impatient mind like that. So till like a year back, I used to even in the middle of the night, if my phone used to do ting ting, I used to wake up and see, oh, kisne PP kiya? And I used to, like, in the middle of the night at 4 in the morning, I used to tell them the price. That
Oh,
yes, I have to close this sale. I have to close this sale. And so gradually I realized that this is not the right practice, and it's hampering my health, because I used to do sleepless nights, editing half the night and then replying to PPs and DMs half the night. It was making me very anxious. which I realized is not the kind of thing I'm preaching here, which was about work-life balance. And then also my husband intervened and said that this is really not the way to work. Work has to be at one place and your life has to be at one place. Your health has to be the most important. And then I
Right.
also had people, I hired two more people who now handle the DMs and PPs, which are a big part of, but it's all during the office time now. There are no untimely answering of PPs, where people do write and do not realize that when we miss on some PPs or some comments, and people say that you guys don't reply or you guys do this or do that. But that's how it is. We cannot do that.
Right.
We're a small brand as yet, and I think the bigger you get, the more problem of you not answering your PPs
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
But we
You
try
can't,
and address to as many PPs as we can.
you can't make everyone happy. Like you have your own life, and that's something everyone has to just be comfortable in. That it's
And
okay.
till date, I am very, very particular about the kind of customer experience I give, because I am a customer myself. I consume a lot of internet and I consume a lot of brands where I buy from. And I really like if somebody promptly replies to my mail or my complaint. We do get complaints. I will not say that we are a brand which has no complaints. Sometimes people are unreasonable. Sometimes we have made mistakes, but sometimes people are also unreasonable. they we get a lot of cans. These are the challenges we face day to day basis, because we have COD, cash on delivery, and in India, canceling your orders when they reach your doorstep is a very, very big thing. It's a
Oh, yeah.
trend. When they order, they will order 10 things, make an order for 20,000 rupees, and as they're about to get delivered, they will cancel it, saying we changed our mind. And
Right.
everything is made in hand, in house, and there's a lot of labor and everything involved. It really breaks my heart, but at the same time there's nothing we can do about it, because there are genuine customers also.
Right. There
So
has
those
to be
challenges
balance.
we face a lot.
Right. Wow. There's a lot that goes on. So,
Yes.
okay, we'll take another question. How do you manage your stress? Since running a business can sometimes be really stressful and suck your creativity. You've mentioned a bit about it, but can you talk a bit more?
Anna, that's, as I said, it's about routine. It's about how you set in your routine and see what is your stress buster. Like in my case, my son, my family is my stress buster, or just
Right.
time with myself and food. I'm a very, very big foodie. Cooking and making my family eat, and also eating myself, is something that really, really releases my stress. I love cooking, and in fact, I have been thinking of doing something around cooking with Amama also, which I might in future. But yeah, cooking is a really big stress buster, and you have to identify that for yourself.
For yourself.
Everyone has that one. It comes over time, that you realize that this is, because last year was tougher with lockdown, with COVID. Although the COVID situation is even worse this year, but last year it was very new, fairly new for everyone to be sitting at homes, and
Hmm.
my businesses suddenly picked up a little. So I started feeling a lot of anxiety in terms of, oh my god, how do I keep up? Oh my god, how do I do this? How do I do that? Paying my employees, how should I be sitting, everyone sitting at home, should I be paying them salaries or no? There were a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So then eventually everything fell in place. I started working on my anxiety, started sleeping better, and things fell in place.
Right. That is taking care of yourself is very important.
Yes.
Mental health, physical health, everything.
No, with
Um,
this year especially, Anad, we can say that because COVID has been very bad this year, and we have really understood the importance of our health, and healthcare is very important for all of us.
True. There's another question. Although you have mentioned it, do you hire designers or design yourself? So,
I now have a team of 5 designers who work on different collections, because now we have introduced different metals in brass, and we do silvers, because everything is being designed in house now. So I have a team of designers, but everyone works closely in touch with me, because no design can be put on a mama if I don't approve of it. So
So how did
and especially all those handmade pieces that you see, the
yeah,
ones that you also like,
yeah.
those are all completely designed by me in my guidance
So you do it yourself as well.
as well. Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
It's very important. Like my mother says this a lot. You can't make people do the work that you don't know how to do yourself. It's very
Absolutely.
important. Yeah, it's very important to kind of know what everyone is doing and have that control with you when you handle your business. And you've shown that really well. You've talked about it earlier as well. Okay, I'll take the last question. I have been talking a lot. I have been talking to a lot of small businesses on IG, and as they expand, things get tough. How exactly is DM or price please management in your creative space? How do you plan to change things up as you slowly expand? So, with expansion, how do you manage that, and how do you have a set plan for the future as well?
Anand, first of all, I'll be again very honest that because of COVID, these past 2 months have been a little difficult and the business has been a little low. And I guess it has been low for this entire, we've not been promoting as much. We're not doing very happy content knowing that situation outside. And almost in the entire team is doing work from home. We don't have people coming in the office.
Hmm.
So the deliveries are low. Everything is kind of on a hold because we don't want anyone to come to office at this time. So first we will be recovering in this year only from that. So expansion I think will only come later in stage for this year especially. All the plans have shifted because of COVID. But
Right.
that's what I can say is because from last year to this year we have expanded and I put a team in place for that, and that really helped me because if I had not had a team I would have really crumbled. But because I found a team and touchwood I got lucky with finding the right people also, that they took over the responsibilities that I had taken completely on me. So that's what I keep telling people, that branch out and do not take everything on you, because system has to be in place for a brand to do well, for a brand to expand. In system has to be there.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, like managing your funds, and it's great to have a lot of profit, but you have to invest into your
Yes.
business as well, right? You've
Yes.
mentioned that, and you invested in, hiring more people so that you can have
Yes.
a more balanced life yourself,
Anand,
and that is
we
benefit
have,
this.
last year has been profitable for us, and we have been rewarding accordingly to our team also. That, for example, in a month of April when lockdown happened this year, we paid entire salary and doubled the salary to each employee, because we know how difficult it has been for everyone with hospital bills and all. So April and May also I will be doing double the salary for each and every employee.
That's wonderful to hear, and also to kind of comment on the situation. Everyone is doing what they can to contribute in their own ways, small or big, and that's wonderful to hear from you as well. And I hope more people do it. And yeah, that's all questions we'll take today. It was great to talk to you. It was amazing and a lot of insight into, I hope this helps, our students who want to start their things, who have started their things. I know a lot of people from our college have started their things, their own ventures online. And I hope this helps. You have been wonderful. It was really, really, insightful and inspiring talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. So,
Anand,
yeah,
thank you so much to you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in, for giving me time and patiently listening to. If anything I said that did not make sense, do correct me. And I'm open to any kind of mail exchange or anything you would not like to know. And if there's any brand which would like to collaborate or let me give you a shout out on Instagram, I'd love to. So do let me
yeah.
know,
So,
Anand.
yes, sure, definitely. As you've heard, you can reach out to her and go check out Amama Loves on Instagram. It's an amazing, wonderful brand filled with warmth of traditions and values. So it would be amazing if you all can go check that out. And yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Anand.
so we
Thank you
always
for
have someone.
Take care, all of you. Be safe and good health to
Thank you
everyone.
so much. We already have something in our chat. Creation by Meg. There's an account. It's her store for handmade jewelry. She started something very similar to what
So
you do. It
sweet.
would be amazing if you could shout it out
Anand, if you
on
could
her
just put
Instagram.
them on the mail with the links, I will definitely promote them.
Yeah, definitely. I'll do that.
Great.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for
Thank you
joining
so much.
today. Bye.
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 Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. So, everyone who joined today, it was a great session. Thank you for joining. That's all we'll do today. Bye.